Everybody, this is Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers that have joined this tribe and find something valuable that I have to say concerning your awareness, your recovery. And a lot of you have sent me emails and have been following me for a while, and you said that you're feeling much better. Some of you have finally made the step in leaving, make an informed decision, watch the video, strengthen yourself, get legal advice, get a legal advocate. Don't just jump up and leave and run. Make sure that you understand your rights and the narcissist's rights, especially dealing with children and marriage and property, depending on what state you're in, make wise decisions. But thank you guys for joining me. So today I wanted to talk about, in general, the narcissist. So a lot of you are asking questions. Some of you, I still haven't had the opportunity to group the videos, but a lot of you are asking questions. So I know that you haven't been to go look at some of the videos, but a lot of you are asking, if I'm in the relationship with a narcissist, will I turn into a narcissist? No. And I'll expound on that. Some of you are like, well, how does a person turn into a narcissist? Well, they don't actually turn into a narcissist, but we're going to get the right, grammar, the, wording, but also, well, how do they become narcissists? So number one, understand that in accordance to, everybody has narcissistic traits. I hate to say that, but the facts are the facts. Everybody has narcissistic traits, especially as teenagers and kids are developing into teenhood. You'll see it is more prevalent. There we go. And you'll look at your teens as if they are narcissists. You could tell the difference between something that is pathological, something that is just not right, and normal teen development where they just know everything, they compete, they're grandiose, everything is all about me, selfish, self-centered. And then there are people that you may date that are self-centered, that are selfish, that are all about themselves. That does not necessarily mean that they are or have narcissistic personality disorder. Actually, the correct terminology is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder, just like person that has major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder. They are not a depressant, or they're not a cancer. A person with cancer is not that cancerous individual. That's kind of a slap in the face, but to empower the victims of narcissist abuse, of those that have, because it is, the experience with a narcissist is a matter of domestic violence. And you have those that are in domestic violence programs and being taught about domestic violence and the power and control wheel. But then when you're dealing with an individual that has mental health issues, some of them may have bipolar disorder, some of them may have schizophrenia, some of them have narcissistic personality disorder. So people that have mental health disorders, the way that they abuse and how they abuse is very different than the average person that may just have anger issues, that may have, drug and alcohol issues. Individual that has narcissistic personality disorder falls in the category. If you look it up on Google, you can find under the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorder, 5th edition, DSM-5, and you can find the symptomology that fits, they may fit the criteria. I think out of 9, they have to have at least 5 of the symptoms. Now, we can read that, but we don't know what it really looks like when it's played out. I did write a book where you can see it played out, but most people don't know what it looks like played out. You can read something, but to actually see it, the book does not explain the carnage or the what happens to individuals that are involved. They're talking about the mental health disorder or the personality disorder in general, but it doesn't talk about the effects it has on people that are victims of a person that have, or survivors of a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. And that's what a lot of these videos explain is, a lot of you have not been able to put your finger on what is going on, but these videos, and it doesn't describe it in the book. It talks about the individual with a disorder, but not the carnage or what happens to the individuals that are involved with a person with narcissistic personality disorder. And that's what these videos are about, empowering the survivor, empowering the victim that is involved, giving you an idea that you are not crazy. Now, a lot of you say, well, being with a narcissist, will we turn into a narcissist? You can't turn into anything, because it is a personality disorder, is a malfunction in the personality or a dysfunction in the personality. The personality developed wrong based based on a lot of things. There's not just one thing. So you still have psychologists and researchers that are researching, because there's not one thing that you can point to that causes narcissism at this particular time. The environment, genetics, growing up in a household with narcissistic parent or parents, some of them are taught to be entitled. The parents, this is my baby, this is my princess, my little prince, and they teach, empathy is taught. And so they're not taught to have empathy. They're taught to be better than, and this personality develops. The personality develops up until the age of probably 18 years old. And so, narcissistic personality disorder is not a disorder that is diagnosed in childhood. It's usually diagnosed 18 and older, because the personality is still developing. Then you have, and a lot of the experiences that I have are with individuals that have narcissistic personality disorder, those that have had physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, have been really abused, where the defense mechanism turns backwards in on itself. And so once a person has been so traumatized, and not everyone is traumatized that develops the personality disorder, but that's been so traumatized, the emotions, the feelings, the empathy, the compassion, everything, they're shot, and it shuts down. They shut it down because that is a dangerous place for them. And so from that point forward, the personality develops where there is no empathy and compassion, and something has triggered the brain to no longer feel compassion and empathy toward people, and they become very cruel. The DSM does not explain the difference between somatic and cerebral or malignant narcissists, and you have people such as, and I know we've discussed this before, a lot of you are triggered because you can hear in the voice of the individual, you can hear almost the evil behind it. A narcissist is a narcissist. A malignant narcissist is an individual that also has antisocial personality disorder, or what they used to call psychopath or sociopath. And a lot of you are familiar with Mr. H.G. Tudor's work. He is, and he lets you know that he's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and I think he said either sociopath or I think he said psychopath, which is the anti-personality disorder. So a narcissist is a narcissist. If you learn anything about a narcissist, he is exactly, and one thing that I can say, yes, he will trigger a lot of people. Yes, you can almost feel it's like you're being mocked, but he's point on. I mean, he's very, very accurate about his disorder and those of those people that have the disorder. He's very, very, very on point. He's telling you exactly how it is. For those that are seeking counseling and services with him, just know what you're dealing with. He tells you what he's dealing with, and there's another individual, I can't think of his name, that came up with the terminology, but a narcissist is a narcissist, and really in actuality is a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. Can it change? No. So far there are no studies to show that this personality, once it's ingrained and rooted in the individual, you can't change it. It is a permanent part of their personality, a dysfunctional personality. I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, that if you catch them while they're young and the personality is developing, and you interject, whether it's changing environment, getting them involved in counseling, there are counselors that are interested in it. I'm not a child specialist, but those that are interested in children, to be proactive and begin to assist them, and interject and be proactive in hopes to probably change the path of the development of that personality. I believe there might be hope, but once they have it, once they have that personality disorder, it is a permanent part of their character. That is a character flaw. And so being with a narcissist, no, you're not going to turn into a narcissist. You will probably have some narcissistic traits, absolutely. And some of you, and that's why when you start talking about it, they can point out traits of you, but you're like this, you do this. It makes you question, like, well, you're right. Well, maybe I am the narcissist. No, but that is the game that they play, and that is, those of you that have been in a relationship with a narcissist, there's nothing that anybody can say that convince you otherwise, and that's why it's so important that we get the information out, that we educate people, that that make sure the court system, legal system understands, what type of individuals. There is a lawyer, a firm here in the state of Washington, but I don't think that I think he's changed his views. I don't think he practices or he goes to court. He's a family lawyer here in Washington, but he understands cluster B personality disorder, especially like narcissism and what happens and occurs in the courtroom. And so he's well versed in it. He understands. He's been doing it for years. But I think now he's changed from being a family lawyer. He's more into the politics and laws and things like that. But there are, legal firms and lawyers that actually understand the dynamics. The problem is that a lot of them are, because it's a high conflict divorce or child custody cases, they charge a lot of money for retainer fees because they know they're going to be dragged through the mud. They're going to go through court. If you're willing to invest in it, they're willing to fight for you, and I hate to say that, but even for a therapist, it is a very high conflict. That's why I don't deal with personality disorders. I usually refer out, and a lot of people don't want to deal with personality because it's long, it's arduous. The counselor is being abused. But there are people that have the heart to deal with personality disorders, which is borderline personality, antisocial personality, narcissistic personality disorder. And there are people that really enjoy working with the dynamics of this type of disorder. But I just wanted to come on really quick just to make sure that I give you guys a little information and a video by itself dealing with narcissistic personality disorder. And so yes, it is the manual does not discuss the effects, the after effects, or what happens when you get involved with a narcissist, because it focuses on the disorder itself. And so we're working hard. Coaches are working hard on researchers are working very hard and also developing information for the survivors of this, because you feel unheard. You feel like nobody believes you, and most people don't, because the way that they are in public is not the way that they are behind closed doors. And so it's hard for many people to believe that this individual could be the way that they are. But those of you that have had or been in a relationship with an individual with NPD, and there's nothing that anybody can say that will ever change your mind about your experiences, And so hopefully this has helped a little bit. And also just to answer one of the questions, I think a young lady from India, so thank you, is it Namaste? Namaste. But everybody, is not categorized in an empath or I'm trying to think, what was the other one you said? But everybody is not an empath. People have empathy. In the very beginning, long time ago, as I began to study more, I used to think I was an empath, but I am not. I am not an empath, and I know the difference now. You can have empathy for a person, and I can explain for myself is that I don't feel other people's pain the way that an empath does. I empathize with them, and if we have similar, that's what empathy is. We have similar experiences, like many of you. I have also been in a relationship with narcissists, and the longest one, obviously over 40, 50 some odd years, and the other one was an intimate relationship, a marriage of 20 years, and so 22 years of a relationship, and other relationships prior to that, but I didn't know, and so I know the difference. I have empathy because I understand I don't know your personal experience, but I understand what it was like to be in a relationship with one, and the games that they play and the pain that they cause and the damage that they do. And so I empathize because I understand. I don't understand everything you've been through, because I haven't been through everything that a lot of you have been through, but at the same time I have been through that, and I empathize, so I know what it feels like. However, I don't feel, a lot of times empaths, they feel people's emotions, they feel their energy when they're hurt, and they're the ones that they want to rescue. I'll take the pain and absorb the pain for myself, and a lot of you are dealing with body issues because you absorb other people's pain, which is good and bad, because you have to learn how to balance. But everybody is not categorized as an empath. Some people need a name, narcissist versus empath. Some people just need a label, but everybody is not an empath. Do know that. And a lot of people have, empathy and sympathy, And a lot of people are also codependents, and some empaths, a lot of empaths are codependents, and a lot of time, and I was a codependent at one particular time. But everybody is not an empath. So don't try to force a label on yourself. Some people have gotten into a relationship with a narcissist, and now you have what my mentor calls narcissistic fleas. And so it's a lot of your behavior looks like their behavior because you didn't know how to fight back. So the way that you fought back is the way that they were fighting. So you started to reflect and you started to mirror their bad behavior while they're trying to mirror you, and you started mirroring their bad behavior because you knew it hurt what they did to you. So you tried to hurt them back. So, and then if you've been with a narcissist for so long, you have adapted, you've been with a person so long, you adapt, the way that they say things, the way that they laugh, because you've been with a person, you like the way they do this, so you do this. And for a lot of you've taken upon, adopted their language, adopted their behaviors. Some of you, and you're not narcissists, but they'll label you as one because their behavior looks familiar in you because you've adopted their behavior. And so hopefully this has helped a little bit to clarify a little bit. It's just a lot of information. It is so much that I just wanted to address that tad bit of information that was brought to my attention. And so I also wanted to, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name, I don't want to put her name out there, but this beautiful soul from Canada, I'm gonna send you something. She blessed my soul. She blessed me, and she has really been a awesome lady to help me. And I'm going to send you something in the mail. I'm not going to put it all out there. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, what you do to assist me. But this lady really blessed my heart. She just really was a blessing to me. And one day maybe she'll tell it or I'll tell it. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate you, my beautiful queen from Canada. Thank you so much, and I will be sending you something, absolutely sending you something. Thank you so much. And for those of you that have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell so you know whenever I upload videos. Sundays, I usually come on live between the hours of 8 and 9 Pacific Standard Time. That's where I open it up. I'm not really topic specific, but I open it up for questions and answers so that we get to talk and get to know each other. And I sure appreciate you guys participating and talking to me. I love to talk to you guys. I even get on there when I'm sleepy. I want to fall asleep, but I'm still trying to read the little letters on there. So, but also I have 2 Facebook pages. One is my professional Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. And then I have my book one, which is a little more open, and I put more stuff on there, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the thumbs up. I do post on all 3 of those. I do have an Instagram, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I do have Twitter, and it's Dr. Carmen Bryant 1. You're welcome to follow. I'm still trying to learn the social media thing, and so just work with me, okay? Thank you guys so much. And if you haven't already, please, let me see here. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble, order my book. It is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. And it is real stories by real people that have experienced the abuse by narcissists. We can talk about it. We can talk about the, the symptomology and the clinical terms. But when you read the book, you'll find yourself in the book. It is a Christian book. So those of you tribe members that are not Christians or believers, take the principles out of it, because I guarantee you'll find yourself in the book. Find out how people were thinking, how they were groomed by their parents, how they were abused, how their children were abused. And some of these people were high-ranking people in positions of power, and they couldn't believe that they got caught up in this mess, and their recovery, how they recovered. Some of the things that the parents said to them that kind of made the situation worse, and they ran right back into the arms of a narcissist. But these are real stories by real people. The names have been changed, but these are real stories, so you can see what it looks like played out. And be patient with me. I am working on another book. It takes time to put the information together because I want to make sure I give you guys good material. So once again, thank you guys so much. Make sure you also support my mentor, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. I know she hasn't been on. She's been traveling. She is world renowned, so she does travel throughout the country. She just got back from Africa. She's on her way back out again, and so you probably don't see any updated videos right now because she's traveling. And so a lot of times when you're out of country, the connections are not good. But make sure you go support her. For those of you that have questions on the spiritual and biblical aspects of narcissist abuse, and thank you guys once again. You guys are some awesome people. Thank you so much for all the comments, the emails. Thank you for all the support, and you guys have an awesome day and go be great.